Joyce Gerber. She's a certified nutrition consultant. She is a certified colonic hydrotherapist. She is a licensed massage therapist. And Lucy and I have known Joy for about 10 years now because she's been eating Purium for 10 years. And, I've had many conversations with her. Her knowledge and her commitment to sharing information with people from the time she started practicing the craft of natural healing 40 years ago. I think she corrected me on a call just a minute ago and said, Michael, it's 43 years. And I said, oh man, 43 years. I mean, this is serious, y'all. This is someone who's been on track, working hard, learning the ropes, learning different modules of healing. And I asked Joyce if she'd share with us today some of the information that she so intrinsically understands that I don't about the foods and what's in this ultimate lifestyle transformation. So Joyce, welcome to. I'm going to take it off share for a second and let Joyce chat a minute, and then I'm going to put it on. So view. Let's put it on speaker. Okay, go ahead, Joyce.
Okay, thanks a lot, Michael. Thank you. I resonated with so much of what you were saying. And I will just say that, when I was looking at what you had up visually, what jumped out at me was where it said David Sandoval was personally mentored by Bernard Jensen and Ann Wigmore. Well, those were two of my favorite teachers. I actually studied with both of them, and I know how incredible they were. And they were teachers who they actually had health challenges where they were given up to die. Bernard Jensen, at the age of 18, he had a severe lung condition, and they said he was going to die. He discovered nutrition and cleansing, detoxification, and he got well and lived to the ripe age of 92. And his work was breakthrough in terms of the power of nutritional replenishment and cleansing the body of poisons. The same thing with Ann Wigmore. She had been thrown as a young girl from a horse. I think she was 18, and they said she was going to develop gangrene in her legs and needed amputation. Her grandmother was very involved with herbs and the green foods of the earth. She got Ann on a program, saved her legs. Then Ann, went on to live a typical American life with American food and developed cancer in her 50s. And she remembered the experience of when she was 18 and her legs were saved. And she went on all these green foods. She discovered wheatgrass. And that will segue me into the power shake, because that is one of the ingredients in there. But she used these green foods, healed her body. Friends and family discovered what she did, and everybody started coming to her, and she created something called the Hippocrates Health Institute, originally in Boston. Now there's a very well-known one in West Palm Beach, Florida. So I resonated so much with hearing about all of the health principles I learned over the last 43 years were basically in the different foods. I've never really promoted a company before, and I never thought I would, but it's almost like duplicating myself. I was able to duplicate myself. So the Power Shake, the ultimate lifestyle transformation, is where you're using 5 different formulas, products that are all this is alive, even though it's in a package. The way the powders are formulated with Purium, there's no heat used. So when there's no heat used, you have the living enzymes. So when health is deteriorating, when you have any symptoms, when you're fatigued, when you have pain, when you have inflammation, when you go to the doctor and you're finding yourself put on a pharmaceutical drug, or you're told you need surgery, you are in a downward spiral, a decline. And on a physical level, there's 2 main causes of disease: nutritional deficiency or toxemia, toxins in the body that are accumulating and not coming out. Digestion requires more energy than any other body function. So when you lighten or eliminate the need to digest, your body has all that energy to eat up, dissolve, and eliminate whatever is toxic. So the Power Shake is the formula in the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation that has the highest octane fuels. So some of the ingredients are rice bran extract that's extremely high in B vitamins, and any nutrients, any ingredients that are in this formula are gluten-free, and they are meant to be slow burning carbohydrates. Because if we're going to be on this program and using these foods for 30 days, we want to make sure this food will give us energy and fuel to burn for hours. You know, in the typical American diet, so often people eat foods that are refined, and then their energy crashes, and mid-morning and mid-afternoon, they're reaching for caffeine or sugar to give them hyped up energy. This gives you sustained energy. There are things in here like wheatgrass, which is a blood purifier and a liver cleanser, very alkalizing. The blood needs to be slightly alkaline in a healthy body. And most of the American diet creates an acid chemistry in the blood. There are ingredients in here such as alfalfa. Alfalfa, the roots grow 70 feet down into the earth. So it's extremely mineral rich. Just like we need enzymes, we need minerals. And anybody getting sick or tired or symptomatic is lacking minerals, is lacking enzymes, is lacking alkalinity. Chlorophyll is like the blood of a plant. So in our blood, we have something called hemoglobin, which carries the oxygen. When we take a green food, it's like getting a blood transfusion. So in the ULT, Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation, shortening it, we're having the Power Shake twice a day. And that's like our vegetables and our grains, our healthy non-gluten alkaline grains, and our healthy green foods. That's our meal. And then that leads into the next formula. And there's also I just want to say the Power Shake is also providing something called adiponectin. We need high adiponectin levels. So the rice bran in there creates high levels of adiponectin, which burns fat. So for people who need to burn fat, this natural food in there helps to do that. So that is our balanced. People have this twice a day, either I would say breakfast and their dinner meal, or breakfast and their lunch meal. And so that is the greens and grains and salad. Now and there is some protein in here. Spirulina is 65% protein, and it is in here. So there's a certain amount of protein in here, but then what gives us the complete meal, the complete protein, is the super amino 23. And I know, Michael, you have that in a slide.
Yes.
So the super amino 23, and the reason it's called that is because literally in 23 minutes, it goes into our body, it goes into our muscles. Normally, protein, especially from animals, is a very difficult nutritional element to absorb. We only get maybe 30 to 50% absorption rate from protein. In animal foods, we have toxic byproducts from protein, which are ammonia and uric acid. So people who have kidney issues or on dialysis are not even allowed to have any protein. So this is safe enough. It's been in the physician's desk reference. It's in tablet form. It's from legumes. You can blend it if you have trouble swallowing tablets, but it literally goes into your muscles in 23 minutes. So it is such a pure plant-based or vegan form of protein when you're on this program. There are a lot of athletes that use it, and it's incredible what it can do for your body. So I love the fact that we've got this clean plant-based protein in a lot. And it's interesting, when I first started out in being a health professional, I would guide people on juice fasts because that's all there was. There wasn't superfoods like this. And a lot of times, people would complain about losing muscle mass. And with what I love about this program is it's so balanced. There's just as much attention paid to balancing out nutritional deficiencies as there is on getting rid of poisons. So this is another incredible part of providing nutrition in a clean form we can easily use without any toxic byproduct, safe enough. And today, I was listening to a call today from Dave Sandoval, the formulator of these products, and he said, one of the things that jumped out, he said, the kidneys are like the trash can of the liver. And he said the liver, you can lose 90% of the liver and it will regenerate. But in our country and in our culture, there are so many toxic foods that overload our liver. So it's almost like the other organs that are supposed to be doing different functions have to take up the load of one organ if that organ is overloaded. Something else I learned years ago was the lungs can be like a second bowel. And if the intestines, the large intestine, the colon is overloaded, the lung in Chinese medicine is considered the second bowel. So one of the things I love about Purium and the people who created it, David Sandoval, his perspective is it's so holistic. In Western medicine, our bodies are divided into all these segments, and you have a doctor specializing in lungs or kidney or, joints or brain. But there is such a holistic overview, and it's understood that if one organ is burdened, other organs will have to take over the function. So that's why I love this super amino 23, which leads into the next formula as part of this ULT. And the fact that the detox project, Biomedic is essential. So for many years, I was a colon hydrotherapist. So that involves using water to introduce into the colon or large intestine to wash and dissolve and eliminate old waste. Now, we've been seeing such a rise in autoimmune diseases, things like leaky gut. And over the last 5 years, everybody's been so worried about their immune systems. And it almost seems sometimes, if you listen to the news and the media, it's almost like human beings don't have an immune system. And we have to totally depend on, getting shots into our bodies and medications. And that's so far from true. We have an incredible immune system. The problem is the intestinal tract. There are so many substances that harm it. So we have something called Roundup that for decades was used to grow food. It would basically be sprayed on fields and crops to kill destructive organisms or natural organisms which eat food. If there's a real food, it's natural that insects will want to eat it because it's actually healthy. So they sprayed glyphosate on everything. It's the main ingredient in this weed killer called Roundup. But unfortunately, when human beings eat the plants and the produce that have used glyphosate, we have little healthy organisms in our gastrointestinal tract, in our microbiome. And the glyphosate destroys them. The glyphosate also makes little holes in the mucous membrane of our intestines. Now, all of our internal organs are meant to be closed, and the membranes are supposed to be tightly knit so nothing can leak through. We don't want partially digested food to leak through, because one of the things about our immune system is in a healthy immune system, it will recognize foreign invaders, which normally would be coming from outside. But suddenly we have holes being made in the intestines. So our food that's partially digested will leak back into the bloodstream. And then, our body's going crazy because we're being signaled that we have a foreign invader. We have all kinds of allergic reactions that happen. So, but Biomedic, the amazing thing about it is it will pull glyphosate out of the gut. When glyphosate comes in, it blocks the absorption of minerals. Well, Biomedic has something called humic ore, which is an incredible mineral substance that will replenish the minerals that are depleted by the glyphosate. The glyphosate, we have little finger-like projections in the small intestine called villi, and the glyphosate destroys the villi. And if you think about it, if you have a flat surface, you absorb a certain amount of nutrients, but if suddenly you have like a finger-like projection coming out from the wall of that, well, then you have all those finger-like projections absorb more nutrients. And the small intestine is in our bodies to absorb nutrients. And if they get destroyed, we absorb a lot less nutrients. So the fulvic acid that is in the Biomedic, which normally drives nutrition deeper into our cells, actually acts as an escort to pull the glyphosate out. And then the other incredible thing in the Biomedic is lactobacillus spores. If any of you remember when we were growing up and there were little dandelions that grow in the grass, but instead of the yellow dandelions, we see those little feathery ones, and we used to kind of blow on them and the feathers would go all over and we'd kind of make a wish. Well, those little feathers, spores, so David Sandoval and the people who created this put little probiotic spores into the Biomedic. So when it goes into our body, it's not just lactobacillus organisms, but it's spores. They actually explode in the gut, and we have millions and millions and millions of organisms. So that's another incredible part of the ULT. We are healing the gut. We are regenerating the good bacteria. We are healing the organs that have been harmed by the glyphosate. The Detox Project, it's the first product ever to receive the gold standard for detox certification. So this is the third product in this ULT, which is incredible. The fourth product, which I totally resonated with because as a colon hydrotherapist, I knew how important it was to get rid of old waste. The colon is 5.5 feet long and about 2.5 inches wide. Now, if we have efficient elimination, if we have the right kind of 2 to 3 bowel movements a day, which we're supposed to have, well, that 2.5-inch diameter will stay that way. But over the years of having refined flour products and grains, where the opening of the gastrointestinal, the intestine gets more and more narrowed because we have all this waste like hanging out on the sides of the intestine. The super cleanser will pull that old waste out of the intestine. And just about everybody today has parasites. It also has ingredients like black walnut and wormwood. They're herbs. They will destroy parasites. And the way the super cleanser is used in the ULT is you take it usually starting day 11 for 10 days. And then 20 days later, once you're done with that initial 30-day program, the second 30 days, 20 days later, you take the second amount of super cleanser because often parasites will lay eggs. We want to make sure that any eggs laid by the first batch of parasites will be eliminated. So this is an incredible product to get rid of old waste and parasites. So that really got my heart as a colon hydrotherapist. And then the fifth part of this is the apothecary. So many people these days don't have restful sleeps anymore. We're very, very low in antioxidants, and we're very low in melatonin. So many of our body rhythms are just so interrupted our circadian rhythm, which is important for good sleep, by, all of the 5G energy out there in our cell phones, and the toxic overload, and the preservatives, and the, blue rays of the screens that we're on for so long. So they discovered people who grow cherries, they seem to be in incredible levels of health. And it was discovered that cherries were incredibly high in antioxidants and in melatonin. So in the evening, you take this somewhere between an hour before bed or before bed. You mix 2 tablespoons of this tart cherry concentrate with a little bit of water, and you drink it. And it provides an incredible sleep and infuses us with high levels of antioxidants. You refrigerate it when you open it, and it's great for skin. It really helps with inflammation. So I found myself in 2014 when a friend turned me on to this company and actually treated me to a version of the ULT. It was a little bit different, but he treated me. And I was so impressed with the results, with the consciousness of the formulator, because I met him within a few weeks. I was so fascinated that they were having kind of an event a few weeks later, and I met him and I got to interact with him. I got to understand the level of his studies. And everything I was saying to people over the decades about you must eat alkaline, you must have high chlorophyll, you must have enzymes, you must reduce the amount of digestive energy, like it was all right here. So what I love about this is it's extremely user-friendly. I would much rather, as a practitioner, send a person to the website to order, or to send them to somebody like me or any of us who are, working with this, and having it ordered online, go directly to your door, 60-day money-back guarantee. I don't want to support Jeff Bezos. I don't like what he's about. I don't like what he's doing. I don't want to support stores that have unethical practices. I don't want to support stores that have plastics and, containers that are harming the earth. So this is a balanced, incredible way to get your own health together, respect and heal the earth. And I guess that's why I'm here sharing this with you tonight. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for inviting me. Oh, wait, you're muted, Michael.
Hey, thank you so much, Joyce. That really was one of the finest explanations of the ULT since I've heard so many people talk about it. So thank you for enlightening all these amazing folks on this call so they can have a happier, healthier life. So I know you're committed to that. So you just continue to help people. So congratulations.
Oh yeah, so happy to do this. I'm so happy to see everybody on here who's on here. I think this is a gift for you, whether you realize it right now or not. So happy to be here.
Well, big round of applause for Joyce, everyone. That was exceptional. Please, Lucy will post this. Please re-listen to it, because the gems and the specific simple things she said, you want, as you eat these foods, you want to learn, you want to have that knowledge in advance. I didn't have that knowledge when I started. I just started eating it because there was no one to teach me. So back then, 11 years ago. So anyway, long story short, thank you again, Joyce. We appreciate you so much.